Hello, welcome to the Doggy Style Podcast. Join me, Al Berg, and my dog Lola on our adventures through Long Island and New York City. I'll be discussing all sorts of topics that you won't hear anywhere else. Okay, maybe you will. I talk about key principles of success, happiness, and we know we want happiness, persuasion, dogs, my life, some secrets, and many other interesting topics. Come on in. Put your seat back, kick off them shoes. Well, not if you're driving, of course. Take a deep breath, relax, get rid of that stress, and enjoy the ride. Welcome, everybody. Al Berg here, and this is the Doggy Style Podcast, episode 55. And it's another nice day in New York. It's cooled down a little bit. The humidity has dropped. And I had an interesting day at work, of course. I'll tell you about that in a little while. But most of the podcast will be talking about my book, Key Principles for Success. And so let's see what I have. As you know, if you follow the podcast, I always go through my little list. So one of the first things I have is tonight is juggling night, and I decided not to juggle, only because I didn't prepare, and there's just some more important things to do. I'll try to keep the juggling going on Friday nights, so tonight's not a juggling night. Just find a lot of little things at work, um, annoying changes, something called governance, and the latest one was my boss wants us to move all the files into a different place, different directory. Kind of a waste of time, waste of effort. So I just find there's just a lot of stuff I have to do. It's just wasteful, not fun. But I actually, jeez, not gonna make the light. I could try. Oh, I made it. Whee. Whee. It was tough. The mad dash for the light. So I actually had fun for a change, which is a terrible thing to say that I don't have fun at work. Doing some SSRS work. One of the tasks my boss assigned me was to create a bunch of views. And so I worked on it and wrote some SQL that basically loads the database, does some calculations and creates a new field to load the database. And running from SSRS, SQL Server Reporting Services, it basically runs a query that looks for how up-to-date the database is and loads it, this table is, and loads it with the newest data. And so I've set that up, should run tomorrow and start running. And I also wrote something else that would show the data loaded and create a chart. And I thought it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. It was pretty easy to do. So I hope to do some more of that stuff. That was weird. It was very fast light today. So I found out today that the error that I had the other day was escalated somehow to the boss, my boss's boss, and it looks like we're going to reissue a report from April that was wrong because of a mistake I made, and I think this is a big mistake. And then it turns out, so I was then asked to rerun the report. I reran the report, and we had changed the formula on how we calculated a certain number, and it was because of a bug. So we were regenerating the report because there was a bug, and now I reran it with the new formula, which created different data than the report we sent out. So that I was told to use the old method. So there's a little ethical issue here of what to do in this particular case. I was very tempted to say, I don't know if I can do that. It's not ethical. Was one choice. The other one was maybe we should talk to your boss about doing this. So I'm a little pissed off that it's gone this far. They should have just let this drop. This is kind of a mistake. I mean, it was a major mistake in a way, but at the same time, nobody would have noticed it. And it just opens up a can of worms. It's like that thread. You have that thread that's hanging out of your jacket, and so you pull on it. So it's funny enough. There's a there's a guy yelling behind me, louder than I am. Yeah, so it's like a thread that you pull out of a suit, and you pull the thread, and then the whole suit comes unraveling before you. That's kind of what it feels like. So anyway, so my mistake gets corrected. A different mistake doesn't get corrected. We just leave that alone. And matter of fact, change it back to the old way. So this is like a typical day. So what this means is that a senior person in the company is going to be told that he signed off on something he shouldn't have signed off on. And also, the fact that, oh, I'm running again. The fact that it was from me, and so I could get in trouble for this. Just not the greatest position to be in. I mean, there is a potential I could get fired for it, which kind of pisses me off. So that's, I guess, one main reason that I thought the issue should have been dropped. And I had some good advice from a coworker. He was telling me about the past and the future, and how you really have to live in the present. So, we're funny that this whole podcast is rehashing the past of all the things that I would slighted. Yeah, so that was kind of the most of the day today was rerunning the report. Now I left it a little early. I probably shouldn't have, because I could get a call from him any minute with some things to do. But if he does call me, I have to log in when I get home. Have to. It's a must. As we walk in the bike lane. Yeah, so another day, another dollar. Again, so at the time I was thinking this, if this doesn't get me to work on my resume, nothing will. And I've been saying 1 hour. And my new thing is just 5 minutes. 5 minutes on my resume. So I need a 5 minute time on any of these things that I'm having trouble doing. So 5 minute alarm on my resume. I also wanted to mow the lawn tonight. I also have to fix my sink. My sink isn't working anymore in my bathroom, so there's some stuff to do. I guess the sink comes before the lawn in a way. Unless I could do the lawn in a few minutes. Okay, it is really crowded here as I'm trying to make the light again. Because I am behind. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so today I need to turn off a little earlier, so maybe I'll shoot for like 16th Street and come up, I think I'm going to come up 10th Avenue today. It was interesting the last time I walked down We'll see. We'll give that a try. So one of the reasons I didn't juggle today was I didn't prep. I don't have my juggling equipment. So that was one of the reasons. The other reason is stuff to do at home. And actually, I do have to contact my family to pick me up. Okay, so I put in to get a ride. The crowd has gotten a little thinner right now on, where am I? Kind of like it here. It's nice. So we just passed a really nice looking restaurant. I should have gotten the name of it. So probably at the next light I don't make, I'll make a turn over to 7th Avenue and then come up like 16th Street, maybe even earlier. Just I'm a little late. I was like 5 minutes late. And I'm going to come up 10th Avenue. Yeah, so I was complaining a little bit about these little tasks to do. I guess previous jobs, there was not as much bureaucracy. Hard word to say. I never know how to spell that word, bureaucracy. And it just seems like everything we do is bureaucratic. Just a lot of process. I guess one thing to do is to automate most of the things I have to that the bureaucrats want me to do. All right, good luck, Andy. So one thing I've realized from my experience, and I talked about this in the morning podcast, the previous one, is to try not to be the messenger of bad news if you can avoid it. So we have a senior executive that who has made a mistake because he signed off a report that was wrong. Now he looks bad. If I was him, I would consider firing the person who did it, which is me. I might need to explain. Who knows? Maybe something good will come out of it. I'll meet him. So what I plan on doing is to try to let the other crew be the messenger of this. So instead of me being the one that tells him what's wrong, I'll let somebody else in the group do it. If I can somehow, see if I can get out of it. It's not necessarily something you could have a choice of, but it was my fault. In some ways, though, it was kind of a coworker's fault. I mean, it's nice to blame people. He wrote a very poorly written query that was what's called denormalized. So for me to update it, it's very tricky. And it all came down to an update statement that failed because it was updating 0 values. And I needed to somehow keep track of null values and 0 values. So it didn't do that. So it is my fault. And in some ways, it's part of the company's fault that I had to write this complex logic to deal with the issue that we're having. But anyway, so that's the plan, is to try to get somebody else to be the messenger. And you know, there's a famous expression, don't shoot the messenger. So whenever you can, try not to be that messenger. It's funny, I'm looking at a mural on the wall right now, and that mural used to be a Banksy right there. I don't know who did this one. It's nice. Take a picture of it. So I got a picture. I'll include that in the show notes. And I'm coming up on 23rd, so we go for a little jog. It's a long light. I have 12 seconds and I'm pretty far away. I find that to. I stepped in the street with 1 second left, and I made it. I would like to be able to run more. I have to find a way to do that. Uh, One thing is when you get older, it gets hard to run. The bones, the joints. Okay, so we're moving along. We're moving pretty good. So I wrote myself a note that I should assume that what if I assumed that I was going to get laid off and I had some time? What actions would I take? And it's a very good assumption because at any point in time, anybody can get laid off. So if you want to be successful and be able to get a job quickly, you got to plan for this. And I have been laid off in the past, so it could happen at any time when you least expect it. So that's why it's a good idea to be prepared for it. And prep means you have a resume in place, you have um, you practice for interview questions, you've looked around, and it's always better to look for a job when you have a job. And the reason for that is, well, it's obvious to me, is that it's much easier to get a job when you have one. If you don't have a job, then the offer, any offer, you basically have to take it. And I would suggest, and if you don't have a job and are looking, don't get stuck on salary. Um, any job is better than no job. You don't even have to put it on your resume if you don't want, or you could put it on your resume. But one thing to be sure is to be consistent between what you have on the internet or on LinkedIn and what's on your resume. You don't want to be inconsistent in any way. So I wrote down here to do a resume 1 hour, which looks like the word resume, or CV, also known as. So again, for me, it's 5 minutes. And then the last one I have is what you do is always based on your subconscious. So you could tell what your subconscious is thinking by looking at your actions. Your actions imply certain messages to your subconscious. We're in 19th Street. I'm going to start heading west, young man. Typically, I would go to 14th Street, but we'll go down 19th today, and I'll work my way down a little bit. 5:25. I have like 36 minutes. Whew, it's hot over here. Yeah, so you want to look at your actions. What are you doing? So for me, actions might be, I'm not working on my resume. Why? What is it about the resume? Is it that it's boring? I mean, look at the value of a resume. It's a very weird thing. The only thing I could think of is that the reason I'm not working on the resume is because subconsciously I know of all the extra work you have to do to get a new job. But at the same time, you get a new job, it's a lot of fun. It could be a lot of fun. Initially, it might be stressful, but there is something about, a change. Sometimes changes are good. So, yeah, so that's all I have on my yellow list today. And what we'll do now is we'll go through the book. So I wrote a book called 33 Key Principles for Success by Al Berg, me. And it's on Amazon right now on the Kindle. And this year I'm trying to get it on a paperback version. Um, and so it kind of feels like a lot of work. So during the walk I've been going through chapters and kind of reading it, and let's see what comes out of it. And if you have any key principles you want to share, please don't hesitate to put it down in the comments. And by the way, if you do like this podcast, please press the like button. Um, share it with people, and give it a thumbs up, and subscribe. Okay, so let's see what we have. There's a guy that I'm passing. I used to pass a lot. He sells books. This is like paperback books. And he's always there, the same spot. It's like a kind of isolated spot. I'm not even sure what's here. I think it's some sort of subway station. Almost got hit by a bike just there. I was walking, kind of not paying that much attention, looked up, and there's a bike rider in my face. Okay, so we're trying to get the key principles up. There it goes. Okay. So we have, I'm going to start giving the number of the principles, so that way if I go back, I can find it and update it easier. It's very ironic that that the first one that comes up is 38. Why don't I look for a new job? It's freaking crazy. So that came up out of 1,371 items. 38. Why don't I look for a new job? It's pretty weird. It's just telling me. I guess there's a fear involved. I'm an older gentleman. I'm 58 years old, and this is always the fear. I think, if I could put into words, and I could be wrong, that I don't want to find out that I can't get a job. I'd rather just live with the knowledge of thinking that I can get one at any time, and it's easy to do. Now, if that's not true, I guess it's better to know it. I guess it's like, is it good to know that you have a gene for, say, cancer? I mean, I guess if you can't do anything about it, it isn't. But if you can, it is. And I think a lot of genetics set you up to have something. Doesn't mean you're definitely going to get it. Okay, so let's see if I can list the reasons why I don't look for a job. I guess it's boring. I always feel that I really shouldn't be working at another job. I should just I should just try to make money on my own. But obviously for that to happen, really difficult. The odds are very low. Maybe I will, maybe, there goes a maybe. I'll try to do The Secret and imagine myself working. So the one that comes to mind is that I've started a franchising business. The first thing I'm going to do is create my own training course. So I see myself at the computer creating some training courses, getting that whole process down. So the first step is to create my first training course. And then do some editing on it, make it a little bit better. And then once I do that, I can go to the next step, which is try to do a physical course, see what's involved in that. And then if I could do a physical course, the next thing I can do is even teach at a college or something, or just teach some sort of course think I need to get in front of people if this is what I want to do. So I'm not sure the time frames, but I see myself out of college going in, I guess, on the weekends and teaching Excel, teaching anything I'm good at. So I could create a bunch of class ideas and syllabuses would be one of the things I would need to do. So I think 10th Avenue is a good place to go up. I'm going to go down here now. Ooh. So any of the courses that I want to teach, I should create a syllabus on it. Excuse me. Thank you. Create a syllabus on it, and that way I could see if somebody would like to take the course. Um, Another idea is to create the website and list the course syllabuses of any of the courses I want to teach. And this is actually similar to an idea I had a while ago, which was called litutor.com. I thought it would be good to tutor people. So that's also a possibility that I'll tutor people in a class. So it could be in Excel. I mean, there must be high school kids that are learning Excel and are having problems with it. And I do have good training skills, and it's from teaching people to juggle and juggling myself. Yeah, so I also have other things I'd rather spend my time doing. Um, and this podcast is one of them, and the things I need to do with the podcast. It just seemed fun. I don't know. I guess after a while, I find nobody's listening to it, nobody watches it, and I could advertise it. I do have a budget. I mean, I have thousands of dollars I could spend on this, but the problem is, again, always trying to spend money wisely. You want to spend money to make money. So one of the ideas I did have was to try to get somebody on Fiverr for $5 to create the podcast. So I have to figure out. So this way, I would just basically upload the file somewhere, let them go on, and then create the file, and then somehow I would have to go to their place and then somehow copy it. I'll have to figure out how to do that. So there's a lot of figuring out as I wet my eyes. Um, yeah, just a lot of figuring out to do, which I find fun. I'm not I'm not against figuring out things. I had fun today learning something new. Yes, so there's probably stress involved. I have an excuse of I don't want to go looking in the summer, though I got this job in the summer. Um, Seems I always look in the summer. I just don't like being all sweaty. I sweat pretty easily and not crazy about the idea of looking for jobs. There's stress involved, lying involved, and then there's things I would lose. Hopefully there would be something I'd gain. Okay, we're on 16th Street, and it kind of feels like the sun will be in my eyes. I mean, I will be stuck in the sun, as I am right now. Okay, we'll go on to the next one. So that was why don't I look for a job number 38. Now, one of the things that these numbers do change, the way my lists work is, and if you're interested and want to be a early adopter, is it adopter, early adopter? Is you could just tweet me, and I'll try to work on it a little bit so that other people could create lists. But the numbers on the list, you could have a list with the same numbers, and something to do with, I probably should fix that. Maybe there shouldn't be a reason you could have the same number. Okay, next one, 284. Go through my books for key principles for success and extract 10 from each. So now I do have a lot of books. You can see the books I have at the number 2, do.com/books. That's 4 characters, T, 2, do.com. So if you go to that website/books, you'll see a list of all the books I have. So the idea is to go through each of the books and extract 10 items, and maybe that could be a book too. Maybe that's a book. A summary of all the books. Could be a free book. 10 items on each, and links to the book. So I could make money saved by somebody buying the book, or I could link to any information on the book that's available. Next one, 406. My failures and why. Okay, I'm just going to pick one, and I'll pick the one that just happened. So why did I fail at this query? Why did I miss this record? It's a good question. Excuse me. I guess our process to do it, there wasn't somebody externally testing. It was a complex issue. So maybe the problem was with the denormalized tables, which one of my coworkers likes to do. He likes to denormalize the data. Denormalize just means instead of having, say, a date, a company, and an amount, you would have a date, and then each company would be a separate field, and you could have an amount or sales amount. Okay, so I'm at right under the high line. All the things I pass on the high line, and I'm not walking on the high line this time. And it's already 5:40. How time flies when you're having fun. I guess I was a little late. I don't have that far to go, but I'm going to try to stay on 10th Avenue. A lot of nice places here. A place called The Park. Like their sign. I took a picture the other day. Yeah, so I'm walking up where I came down the other day. It's pretty empty right now. Oh, it's cool. It kind of looks like a park. It's very nice. Really don't have the time to take pictures. It's pretty cool. I like it. As I miss the light. Whew. Okay, so I kind of it is I'm bored. Kind of is I don't care that much. I don't care enough. Another problem might be that I don't have another way. I should have written a report that checks it. I haven't automated it. I mean, I guess the problem always was a bug. You have bugs in your code. This one situation came up that never came up before. So I guess it happens, and you fix it. Unfortunately, when you send out reports that are important, it's not that simple. So it could be that the process of checking the report needs more manpower, or somebody whose job it is, like a QA role, is specifically to verify the reports, the way a person in a QA staff would. Where each number and each requirement is verified by them and checked off, as opposed to my very general analysis of the data. Whew, getting a little sweaty and hot. Okay, next one. So that was failures, and I do have plenty. The Highline Hotel. Oh, it's a very old building. It says the Highline Hotel, and there's like an outdoor seating. If I'd want to be there now, but I'll have to look this one up on. It's a beautiful building. Old red brick building. I'll have to look this one up on the internet. Hi, a pregnant lady was smiling at me. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm in the sun a lot right now. Oh, there's a church here that I had a picture of the other day. Let's see if I get another one. If this doesn't make me late. Can't even tell. Okay. And I'm passing a bookstore. It's called 192 Books. Very small bookstore. I wonder how they could even make money. 192 Books. Oh. I don't know if that means they have 192 books. There's a nice park here called Clement Clarkmore Park. And I'm passing a beautiful park. A lot of kids here. Probably don't let adults in there without kids. I would definitely like to just sit there and relax. Interesting, on 10th Avenue, it's almost as if the streets don't go through. It's like a one-way on the east side and a one-way on the west side going in opposite directions. It's kind of weird. It says you can, I have something here, key principles for success is request a review, but you can't provide an incentive. So you can't say, if you review my book and give it a 5, I'll give you X dollars. So, not allowed to do that as I cross 23rd Street. And by the way, if you do buy my book, which is 33 Key Principles for Success by Al Berg, 99 cents, please review it. Tell me what you think. Hopefully you'll give it a 5. If you don't, let me know what you didn't like about it. Okay, so next one is solve a problem people want. And I started this. Let's see what I have on it. I know I got this from a guy that spoke at my company. I'm trying to remember his name, and I know I always forget it. I actually have his top rules on my wall, and it's a web building site. Weebly, I think. Yeah, Weebly.com. I'll post the guy's name and the rules. I'll take a picture of it, show you the rules. So he had like a bunch of things, and I extracted 10 rules that he had. Okay, so solve a people. This is number 55, 155, and I started this. Oh, very small, not much. And as I said, I have his name now, so I'll read it to you. But it's a good question. It's a very good question to be asking. Is this something people want? Is this podcast what people want? I don't know. I think people will probably be bored by it, would be my thought. Not really interested in what I have to say, but you never know. So I got this from David Rushenko, who is the founder and CEO of Weebly. I like to solve my own problems. That way, if no one wants it, at least I do. So for any business idea you're considering, what problem does it solve? Once you confirm the problem, you can figure out if people also want the solution, and more importantly, will give you the hard-earned cash for it. When David Rishenko says people, he also means corporations. Yeah, so I think I've been thinking more about should I um, sell my Excel idea more to corporations. So that's certainly and I wonder if I could even sell the book. Wonder if speak at a company and it'd be interesting. One of my goals also is not this year, but next year, is to is a bookstore in my area. Hopefully, it won't be closed by then, and to do a book reading and a book signing there. And now I have an acronym. Um, and sometimes I see things I've written down that I have no idea what they are. And this is number 1125 ASLTW. Um, no idea. I'm going to guess TW is that works. I S something that works. I probably will never figure out what this one is. So it's funny, when I wrote it down, I typed in AS, LTW. If you know what it is, let me know. A Oh, I know what it means. I think I know what it means. No, I don't know what it means. I thought I did. So anyway, so I don't know what it means. If you have any ideas, and I could use it as a prompt to see if it could, you know, reach into parts of my mind to have new ideas from it. So I'm going to try to come up with a few that work. A song, uh, a song, love that works. Always say, always say lovingly things to women. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, next one is 258. No excuses, and I started it. The sweat is dripping into my eyes right now. As I wipe it off, I take a little pause. And I do need to see what time it is. I get a feeling I'm going to have to run a little bit between this late start. So I have 11 minutes. I guess I should be okay. No excuses. I don't have much here, and I'll try to add to it. Uh, no excuses to your boss. Um, a coworker's boss asks for something, and the coworker makes excuses to why he didn't do a task. Why didn't you dot dot dot? I'm not sure what that means. I'm sorry, I messed up. It won't happen again because I am dot 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 for now on. Figure out what you did wrong and fix the root cause of the problem. So I guess what I'm thinking here is I shouldn't make excuses for why the query failed. And just to get some of them out of the way. Oh, and so one thing that might be a good idea is to identify objections, because somebody might object. Someone might object to Um, there might be some objections to why we didn't find this or whatever. So if I am presenting the issues, I should at least be aware of what I might be asked and what the objections might be. It's interesting. It's kind of appropriate also. Yeah, I guess I screwed up. So we do have a query now. I checked that now. And we do need oh, we do need a different query to always test our data. Passing a real dive bar. The next one I have is 453. Um, create a table grouping items, people, groups, instruments, systems, processes, problems, other. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm gonna guess that's a suggestion to have like a category table. So could have one table, and the field might be um, people colors, and we could have white, black, Asian, or something like that, or brown, Chinese. See what I have. Yeah, I'm getting tired, really. I'm pushing it, and I have 7 minutes. I should be okay. It's going to be close. Okay. Oh, okay. So now I know what it is. So sometimes I listen to calls and I don't know what people are talking about, I suggest you create a chart. And on the top row, and this is in Excel, so on the top column, you're going to put the word people, groups, instruments, or something else, and I'll explain what instruments are: systems, other, process, problems, and counterparties. So anytime you hear a person's name, you're going to enter it in the people group: John, Bill, Bob, so at the meeting. The next is that the group they're in, they're going to say credit, front office, operations, so you're going to add that to the groups box. Then instruments, anytime somebody mentions, in my work it's instruments, your job might be something else. So I have fixed income forwards, or FIF, swaps, futures, repos, tri-party repos, etc. Systems, and I'm not going to name the systems, but whatever the name of the systems are that people are mentioning, put that in the systems column. And then other terms that don't fit into any of the categories, you could create a new category if you want, or just put into other. And the next is a process. So I have allocate trades, remap, map. And then I have problems. So meeting might be talking about problems, and I have feed issue, missed cutoff time, mapping, and then I have counterparties. So it could be Woolworth, Gardenia Deli, could be anybody. Okay, so we're really getting close. I got 5 minutes. I could see Madison Square Garden. See how long I've been going for. Oh, there you go. 48 minutes. So this morning I got my podcast to exactly an hour. I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, let's block the sidewalk. People just blocking the sidewalk. Oh, it's a cutie pie. Hi there. Oh, it looks just like my dog. What a cute dog. Jeez. It's somebody crossing, you fucking asshole. Sorry about that. People are honking Somebody waiting to allow people to cross. Idiot. Um, anyway, so I'm at Penn Station now. So hope you all have a great day. Please like this podcast if you do. Subscribe to it if you can, and tell your friends about it. This is Al Berg. It is Tuesday, June 19th. Have a really great day. Take care.